The story begins with Lenny driving through the desert. When he stops to relieve himself, he notices something strange. The headlights of his pickup flicker and a humming sound comes from the radio. Suddenly, a bright sphere crosses the sky and crashes nearby. Intrigued, Lenny approaches the object, its partially transparent surface revealing something moving inside, like a newborn about to emerge. Worse yet, a huge creature suddenly appears before him. Lenny runs to his car, speeds off, but the creature leaps onto the hood, shattering the windshield with a tentacle that latches onto his chest, draining the life from him. The next day, a young man named Roth arrives at a nearby cave and hides 2 backpacks, unaware of a slimy trail nearby. He works for his aunt and uncle, Bert and Claire, who run a camp for troubled teens. Bert believes Roth is too young to be a guide, but Claire, who fired the previous one to cut costs, assigns him the role. Roth complains about having no authority, but his other aunt, Summer, reminds him he can be a good example for the teens, who arrive shortly afterward by helicopter. The group includes 3 boys and 2 girls. Trapper is the first to cause trouble. Bert pins him down, and Claire steps in. Luis recognizes Bert as Crusher, a former MMA fighter whose career ended after an opponent's death. Luis spreads the gossip instantly. Claire talks to Tom, the pilot, who says he can't deliver supplies on Wednesday due to non-payment. She pleads for more time, claiming this group will cover the debt. Tom reluctantly agrees and hands her the mail. Claire opens a letter and discovers that the parents of a former camper are suing Bert for assault. While preparing for the hike, Roth accidentally enters the tent where Courtney is changing. She becomes furious. Outside, the other girl complains about being forced to attend. Wes says he was also sent against his will, questioning if it's even legal. Claire cuts the conversation short, clarifying that they're there by their parents' choice. Second Chance isn't a summer camp, but an educational experience for troubled youth. No devices are allowed, and the main rule is to obey without backtalk. She also warns them to hand over any illegal substances immediately. Wes is the first to disobey, claiming his herbs are only oregano. Since no one cooperates, Claire and Bert stop waiting for voluntary surrenders and conduct a physical search, confiscating an impressive stash. With that settled, Claire asks to inspect their gear. Just as Roth feared, the others already despise him. May complains about having to walk 20 kilometers, but Claire retorts that he can crawl if he prefers. Bert reminds them they're in the desert and that escaping means dying. Courtney begins to pester Roth, suspecting he's been watching her since the tent incident. That night, interference shakes the radio while the horses neigh outside, frightening Luis. Bert gets up to scold them, but upon feeling a tremor, he goes out and sees a stampede approaching. He shouts and wakes everyone just in time. Roth risks himself to save Courtney, who almost gets left behind. Though they all escape, the campers angrily complain. Wes threatens to sue, while Courtney thanks Roth and helps Claire with the damaged tents, including the satellite phone. Suddenly, a terrifying sound echoes in the distance, then fades. In the morning, they resume the hike. Curious about Bert's past, Luis asks about his career. Bert admits he left MMA after that tragic fight, hinting he now seeks redemption. The group reaches the site where Lenny was attacked. The object is still there but empty. They mock Wes for suggesting aliens. Roth finds Lenny's phone, and Bert recognizes the truck. Its condition makes it clear there was an accident. Bert and Claire investigate while Roth sees the last photo on the phone, an image of the strange object identical to what lies before them. When Bert opens the door, Lenny's corpse falls out. Without the satellite phone to contact authorities, Bert suggests aborting the expedition. Claire becomes agitated and reveals the lawsuit over a previous incident where Bert restrained an aggressive camper. Fearing bankruptcy, she twists the facts to convince him to continue and not tell the group. The urgency to leave the corpse behind is so great that Claire ignores Roth when he tries to show her the egg photos. That night, they set up camp under stormy skies. Wes, frustrated, shouts that he wants to leave. Trapper joins in, but Claire intervenes firmly. She tells them it's useless to return with the same attitude since it's clear none of them are happy with their lives. Her words strike some of them, but Courtney complains that for her parents, it's easier to send her to the desert than face their own mistakes. Roth keeps trying to show the photos from Lenny's phone but is always interrupted, this time by Trapper, who says he's going to find a bush to relieve himself. Bert asks Roth to go with him, angering both. Trapper refuses the company and shoves Roth to the ground. Claire downplays it to avoid a fight, but Bert is furious that Trapper has wandered off. When Trapper hears a twig snap, he gets nervous. Bert appears with a shotgun, repeating that he can't be alone. The boy curses him and walks away, but soon hears a growl. Turning, he sees a grotesque creature. Bert shouts for him to run and steps between them, firing multiple times. The noise alerts the group and Roth rushes toward them, meeting Trapper on the way. They arrive just as Bert is attacked by the alien. Roth watches in horror as his uncle is drained. Claire tries to save him, but it's useless. Only Roth and Trapper grasp what's happening, while Claire is left in shock. Roth leads the group to a cave where he had stashed emergency supplies. They find food, water, and a radio, but no one responds. Wes puts his hand into a viscous substance, and they realize the cave is coated with it. Luis panics when he hears the radio hum, swearing he'd turned it off. Roth sees Lenny's phone screen flicker and understands the alien is inside. Before he can explain, a beam of light strikes the creature. Roth tells them not to move, but Trapper bolts, forcing the others to follow. Wes trips and is attacked. His screams echo through the cave as the rest escape. The next day, they reach the site of the attack. Roth shows the photos. Courtney says the egg looks like the substance Wes touched. They find Lenny's truck, and Roth pieces together what happened, furious at Claire for endangering them. Tension rises and the group returns in silence to the base camp. Roth checks the area while the others pack their belongings. Trapper grows frustrated that his phone still has no signal. Claire announces the helicopter will arrive in the morning. She's moved when she sees a photo of Bert, but Roth remains resentful. Courtney, on the other hand, now feels protected with Roth. Suddenly, MAA warns that his phone is picking up interference. Roth goes on alert and orders everyone to run to the cabin. The alien appears behind the largest tent, ignoring Roth's gunfire. He also runs and makes it inside just in time. Claire and Summer, who were farther away, are forced to hide in the bathroom. The cabin, fragile as it is, offers little protection. Roth tells Courtney to open the door when there's a chance, but Trapper blocks her. He and Roth fight while Claire peers at the alien through the cracks. When it moves away, she and Summer run toward the cabin, but the door is locked. Roth strikes Trapper with the shotgun and opens it, letting Summer inside. However, the creature reaches them and slams the door against Claire's body, attaching a tentacle to her chest. Roth and the others kick the door until she's freed, but it's too late. With her last breath, Claire asks Roth to save the kids. Courtney blames Trapper for Claire's death. Furious, Roth aims the gun at him but doesn't shoot. That night, Roth and Courtney stand guard. He tries to teach her how to use the weapon, but she becomes emotional, and they end up kissing. The next morning, the group is overjoyed to hear the helicopter. Luis checks the radio to ensure the alien isn't nearby. Seeing only armed teenagers and no adults, Tom, the pilot, refuses to take them without explanations. He's shocked to learn that Claire and Bert are dead and demands proof. Exhausted, Roth forces him at gunpoint to take off. Tom explains they must unload the supplies first, as he can't carry that much weight. Everyone but Trapper quickly helps. As they board, the relief is so great that MAA and Luis even crack jokes. But soon the helicopter shakes violently, and they hear a loud thud. Tom insists it's still too heavy, but Luis knows it's something else. The radio vibrates and another impact rattles the craft. The alien rips off a door and attacks MAA, latching a tentacle onto him. The helicopter spins. Trapper jumps as soon as it dips low enough. Roth tells the others to jump and tries to free MAA, ending up alone with him and Tom. Knowing there's no saving them, Roth jumps. Tom is impaled by the creature's tail but still manages to crash the helicopter into a mountain. Despite the explosion, the youths can't believe the creature is dead. With no communication or transport, and difficult company, Roth decides to take the 3 survivors to Summer's house. During the long walk, Trapper keeps complaining. Roth confronts him. Either cooperate or stay behind. Trapper attacks him by surprise and they fight until Roth overpowers him. Courtney stops him before it goes further. Meanwhile, the alien begins to emerge from the wreckage. Summer, driving her tractor, is stunned to see the kids. Hearing about Bert and Claire, she's devastated. She tells Roth the car keys are in the ignition. Trapper quietly approaches the door. No one notices his escape because Summer tries to call the sheriff, but there's interference. Everyone runs outside. Trapper starts the engine just as Roth leaps onto the truck bed, yelling for him to stop. He hangs onto the side and reaches the window, but Trapper strikes him, causing Roth to fall unconscious. Courtney runs to help him, trying to wake him. They all see the alien charging toward the truck. The monster rams it head-on, stopping it with a headbutt, and lunges straight at Trapper. Trapper's screams are so close that Courtney reacts, saves Roth, and runs to hide. Luis asks Summer to show him where the weapons are. Not even the alien seems to tolerate Trapper for long. Instead of draining him, it drives a tentacle straight through his torso, silencing him instantly. The monster then quietly enters the garage, where Courtney is hiding. Moments later, Luis and Summer arrive armed, but there's no sign of her or the alien. Roth regains consciousness and asks about Courtney. They tell him she appears to have been taken. Although Summer says the sheriff is on the way, Roth refuses to wait. She helps him gear up, and Luis gives him a shovel as a shield and 2 homemade bombs with a 20-second fuse. Roth heads to the cave, where he finds blood traces at the entrance. He proceeds with a flashlight and stumbles, falling onto Wes's remains. Farther in, the scene is even worse. Courtney is trapped in slime, with an alien infant hanging from her, feeding. The crackle of the radio signals the adult's approach, but Roth acts quickly. He presses the weapon against the creature and fires, freeing Courtney just in time. The shot alerts the alien, and a chase to escape begins. Roth uses 1 bomb to slow it down and gains some distance. Summer and Luis prepare an explosive trap at the farm. Roth arrives with Courtney, and Luis explains the plan while Summer tends to the nearly catatonic girl. The alien arrives sooner than expected, surprising Luis. Roth draws its attention, triggering the trap. The creature chases him across the farm until Roth jumps at the last second, making it fall onto a tractor full of gasoline. The barn explodes, taking Summer with it, but the alien survives unscathed. It attacks Roth, but the shovel in his vest saves his life. Courtney fires at it, buying him time to act. Roth charges the alien with the last bomb, thrusts his arm into the creature's tentacle, the only way to plant it inside, and waits. Just as several police cars approach, the final explosion goes off. I hope you enjoyed the video.